Let's go into talk about our next quarterback here. Maybe the best performance, or my favorite performance of any quarterback yesterday, because it was this fun. And that's Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss. A lot of big takeaways, but I want to recap the game. I want to react to it because, it's kind of like the game we just talked about. He just kind of kept going, had to keep finding a way here. So, Braxton, you want to go ahead and read out the stats from Trinidad yesterday. Let's go ahead and talk about our biggest takeaways, talk about what we liked, what we saw from Trinidad.
Yeah, no, so he was 24 for 44, basically 55% completion percentage, 315 yards. That totals out to 7.2 yards per attempt. He had the touchdown through the air. He also had 12 rushing attempts for 53 yards. And that's a 2.8 average, no touchdowns on the ground. But kind of coming from his full season, a very good game. He definitely showed why he still is the starter there. Even though Austin Simmons is back in the game, showed there were some throws that he made that were, high caliber NFL type throws to keep them in drives, to move the chains. And then when he wasn't doing it through the air, he did it through the ground. So he had a great game.
Dude, sometimes I'm like, damn, this guy's impossible to stop with his legs. You know what I mean? Like he had 3 rushes of 10 plus yards or more, like you talked about, where he just looks like the defense looks like they have him and they're able to get through. Kiffin called a hell of a game too. The only thing that was kind of head scratchy was they put in Austin Simmons and he missed 2 of his throws. But I'm not one to criticize the coach because we're on YouTube talking, not getting paid, and he's getting a lot more than we are. So, but yeah, to your point, like sometimes there's too much hero ball, if you will. You know what I mean? Where you just kind of go off script, but at the end of the day, if you can't stop it, you can't stop it. And we'll talk about Mateer in a minute. But Christian, what do we see from Trinidad yesterday? I'll go ahead and pull up the stats. Again, this is in season college football. Ole Miss fans, so we're able to kind of go through a bit more detail and dive into it in a bit more. In-season college football we'll have on the link below as always. So go ahead and hit this up here, Christian.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a dual threat quarterback, you kind of have the risk of is a pass first or run first type quarterback. And after what we saw kind of last week against Georgia, where he oftentimes resulted to the run first, he was able to kind of stay in the pocket a little bit more this week and have a little bit more of a consistent game from the passing front. We see his while his accuracy was about 65% this week, it really did take a step up in terms of the decisions he was making in terms of getting the ball down the field. There's no huge high-level takeaways in terms of statistically how does this game match up against the rest that he's played this year. But I think he's kind of finding his edge, he's finding his cut a little bit more, and a good bounce-back performance after the Georgia loss last week.
Yes, totally. Yeah, and if we're looking from a big picture standpoint, this is their second road game in a row, if I'm not mistaken, right? They had Georgia last week, then you go to Oklahoma. I mean, talk about a gauntlet and just being able to find a way to win. That's my biggest takeaway. They found a way to win. Their defense obviously played much better, but Trinidad Chambliss keeping it about him, finding a way to win, playing. I know I talked about him doing hero ball, but I think he did a good job, Christian, because he played within the system a bit more too. You see that a little bit more, whereas Georgia second half last week made him play outside the system, and they got comfortable defending that. Oklahoma tried to do the exact same thing, at least in my human eyes I'm watching, but he was able to take advantage of them trying to do that. So I thought he looked better in the pocket. And I mean, especially with all like the Lane Kiffin rumors in Florida, now LSU, all these rumors coming in, I thought they did a really good job and prepared. They were on the road. The weather wasn't great. They were slipping a little bit. So there's a lot of good takeaways from Trinidad Chambliss here. Braxton, anything else on Trinidad before we go ahead and move on? Anything else we want to hit on? Feel good?
No, yeah, I think that's exactly what he's done well throughout the year. I mean, he kind of reminds me of Wally Pipp and Lou Gehrig. Like he got the chance with that job, and he is not going to give it back up to Austin Simmons. So as long as he keeps playing like this, I don't see why you would make a change if you're Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin.
Agreed. Yeah, it's nice to have Austin Simmons as that backup. I know we talked about how he missed those 2 throws, but still nice to have him as a backup quarterback here. So, Ole Miss fans, if you're watching, go ahead, like, share, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. I know I keep saying it. Like the video, share it, subscribe, and then check out the in-season college football link below. We're going to be sending out game previews throughout the week. It can go directly to your email. If you subscribe, you'll be able to see all this awesome information, and we've got some cool stuff coming in the all season as well.